Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmad Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports. Let's take a look at our lineup on what we're discussing on the show. We're going to start off with the teams of the year that have been announced for ODI, T20s and Test cricket as well by the International Cricket Council, and the subsequent teams of the year. The T20 International Team of the Year is right there in front of you. It includes Josh Butler. Pakistanis have also made headlines. If you talk about the T20 International Team of the Year, we've got two players making that list. Mohammad Rizwan and Haris Rauf from Pakistan have been included in the T20 International Team of the Year. As far as the skipper Babar Azam is concerned, he's been named the captain of the ICC ODI Team of the Year, which is, I think, is a monumental achievement considering what's been happening in Pakistan. All sorts of rubbish with this lobby against him, but now I think things might be put into perspective. And then of course we move on to the fact that Nida Dar has also found a place in the ICC Women's T20 International Team of the Year. She's been the only positive performer for Pakistan women's team. Apart from that, Babar is also included in the ICC Test T20 Test Team of the Year as well, and then of course subsequently the one day. So T20 two Pakistanis, and then for Test and ODIs you've got Babar Azam. Then we move on to Pakistan women versus Australia, where the first T20 International Series took place. Australia beating Pakistan by 8 wickets. Umaima Suhail top scored for Pakistan. Megan Scott was the player of the match, picking 5 wickets. Super performance in the bowling department, but I have to give credit to Pakistan, because in the likes of Aisha Naseem, they found a very, very talented batter, and even the likes of Isha Goa, commentators, presenters, everybody was gobsmacked why she's not been a regular part of the team. The sixes she hit over mid-wicket, long on, that power hitting ability was absolutely superb. So I think more game time for her can really do wonders for Pakistan, because we're missing that key element of modern day cricket. Then we move on to the Women's Under-19 World Cup. Pakistan is up against New Zealand. Action right now is live on PTV Sports HD. New Zealand have been absolutely cruising so far. It's been carnage. They've now put up a very, I think, healthy partnership as well, which was just broken. They've lost their first wicket for about 57 runs, but you can see that the run rate is there. And because Pakistan's going to be chasing yet again, you need to actually consider the scenario that 100, 120 is something where our girls, young girls, are comfortable with. When it gets above 120 and 30, it becomes a bit difficult, because we don't have that intent, and those follow wickets tend to trouble us. So if there is a total, it's going to be a real task for Pakistan to chase it down. Then of course we move on to some football in the English Premier League, and we'll talk about Arsenal beating Manchester United to stay on top. Haaland's hat-trick as well against Wolves. Frank Lampard has been sacked by Everton. Yet another shocking news that's come from the managerial point of view. Before that, I think the biggest one was Thomas Tuchel, but now we see that Frank Lampard has also been let go by Everton. Arsenal had a fantastic game. I think that was a game to watch out for. United scoring the first goal. Then we had the game levelled by Arsenal. Then it became, Arsenal came on top with that second goal from Saka. Absolutely superb outside the box. Then another, Lisandro Martinez getting a very faint touch in to equalize the score. And then that last minute goal by Nketiah was absolutely superb. Although that offside controversy will still stay there, but that will be a healthy debate. Rest assured, Arsenal have got a lead, which I think should propel them to win the season. It has to be there, nothing less than that for me this season. So we're going to be discussing all about that in the show. And time now to introduce the guests. First of all, in studios we've been joined by cricket commentator, broadcaster, presenter, and our cricket expert on Sports Extra, Asif Ahmad. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Walaikum assalam, Ahmad. I'm very well. How about yourself?
I'm very well. Great to have you on the show. We've also been joined by sports expert. He's going to be talking not just about cricket, but he's going to be a very happy man when it comes to football as well. Rizwan Haider. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Assalamu alaikum, Ahmad. Thank you.
Well, there's positivity all around. From that salam, you can judge the energy that is coming from the Gunners, and it's going to stay there, I think, till the second part of the show. But then, of course, I think Asif, ceremonial, this team of the year, but does highlight some significant performances, and I think also for the players themselves, it's a great boost for confidence.
Well, of course, and Ahmed, I just wanted to talk about Babar Azam, because lots of debate is going on about his captaincy. Either is he fit for the longer format or not. Some people are saying that he's fair enough, fine if he's the captain and leading for T20 side, but he's not okay with ODI and then longer format like Test cricket. But see, as ICC announced him, giving him some confidence, of course, and it's a huge achievement. When ICC is saying that the Babar Azam will be the ICC's ODI captain, what does it mean? That If Babar Azam is getting this news, Pakistan is getting this news. So now the debate is going in another version, and that is that either Babar Azam is okay for Pakistan T20, for Pakistan team for the ODI Cup, or will he remain captain for all the formats? But if you have watched yesterday's presser of Najm Sethi, he said that announcing Shan Masood as vice captain is a signal. What does it mean? That they are preparing another captain for the longer format? And I think that Babar Azam will remain for the T20 and Test cricket. But I don't think so that there would be huge change right before the World Cup. So it's a big achievement for Babar Azam, not only for the Babar Azam, and his lovers, his fans, including me, including you, everyone is happy. It's not only for the Babar Azam, it's a question of Pakistan.
Right, definitely. Rizwan, what's your take now? Like I said, a ceremonial moment, this ICC Team of the Year's confidence booster for the players as well. But then again, this debate, and what troubles me the most is right before the World Cup.
Well, frankly, it is a great thing to have him installed as the one-day T20, one-day international team of the year captain. It gives you confidence, and it shows how much respect ICC gives you as a panel, because it's not just one player who's decided that. It's a team of panel. It's a panel of players, ex-players, officials who decide that. So that's a positive sign. There has never been a debate of how good or bad Babar Azam is as a player. There is no doubt that he's one of the top talents Pakistan has found in the last 15 years. As a test match player, as a one-day player, and even as a T20 player. I mean, you look at his averages, and it's 50 plus, 40 plus in one-day internationals, 50 plus, 58, I think, in one-day internationals, and doing reasonably well. He started off a bit slowly in test matches, but he's picked up and is now averaging 45 plus. So that's a great start. Now, captaincy is a totally different issue, and I have no problems if you decide to have separate captains. We're not discussing Babar Azam. I'm just talking in Pakistan in general. You can have separate captains for all three formats, or you can have two captains, one in the white, one in the red, or a test one-day captain, and then a separate captain for T20s. But you need to have options. And there is no harm in developing players that suddenly Babar gets injured for 2 years or something like that. Then you have to have options. You need to have backup players who can lead the team when there's a gap. That's what Australia does. That's what England does. That's what India's been doing. So there's nothing wrong with that.
But Rizwan, why this all sudden, everybody's fidgeting because of Shan Masood? I understand his performance was not what we expected. But look, you had to name one guy who would have led the team as a vice captain, and obviously Shadab was already out injured.
Well, you have to look at it from a different perspective. Leadership is something else, and captaincy as a playing ability is something else. And you have got examples in Australia, in English cricket. There was somebody, I can't remember the name. Then the wicket-keeper batsman in New Zealand who came in just as a wicket-keeper and captain in the very first Test match. So leadership ability is totally separate from playing the game. There have been players who've been mediocre players, averaging 25, 30. Even if you look at Hafiz Kardar, he never averaged more. He was never a strike bowler for Pakistan, but he was an inspirational leader, and that's what matters. Shan Masood has shown through his performances in domestic cricket that he can lead. He has the ability to gel the team together. He hasn't shown that in his performances in test matches as yet. I mean, he wasn't as successful as we had hoped, but Gloucestershire naming him the captain, and then he's going to be Yorkshire next year. So that just shows that even they have faith in his ability. So I have nothing against, trying new players, and end of the day, what's going to happen? What's the worst that can happen? You find out after two series that he's not good enough. Well, Pakistan lost 4 consecutive test matches at home. That's an alarm bell. There are signals that can be seen.
I was still not upset about that. I'm
surprised.
surprised.
Not upset. So if there is a debate about Babar Azam's captaincy, it is the captaincy, not his batting, not at all. But Pakistan losing 4 consecutive test matches at home. You start with the last game against Australia and 3 consecutive versus England. And then against New Zealand, you were lucky. So, of course, there are going to be debates about that.
Asif, there are insecurities. I think that's the only problem right now. Even a player with the stature of Babar Azam has those insecurities, which are, I think, pertinent that we mention them, and we are observing them. I don't know why insecurities come in, because I think you should let your performance do the talking. But if it can happen to Virat Kohli, it can happen to anyone else in the world, because for me, he is the best player in the world. The fact is, right now, we need to settle things. I don't care how we do that, because me, you, Rizwan, a lot of other people have said that right now our prime focus has still got to be the World Cup.
See, it's a Pandora box, and I don't want to talk about much about this because, if you talk about that the conspiracies which was going on in the team regarding Ahmad Wasim, that what was why he was not in the ODI side, even he was performing so well. And then if you see back PSL 7, Babar Azam was the main leading scorer for the Karachi Kings, but even Karachi Kings didn't manage to win good victories in PSL 7. Then debate started that if a player who is the captain for all the formats of Pakistan, why is not the captain in franchise cricket of Pakistan Super League? Then, the people were saying that because Ahmad Wasim is leading from last couple of years, Karachi Kings, so that's why Babar Azam is not there as captain. But the issue was something else, because, Wasim Akram and Harshal Gibbs, Muhammad Amir, they all, Sharjeel Khan even, they were the part of that conspiracy as well. But I think that now we should go ahead and do not talk about what happened in the past. Yes, the insecurities came when that the people like Ahmad Wasim, very vocal, talkative, and same like personality like Shan Masood, as Rizwan said that, even countries are taking his name as captain. Then why not Pakistan bringing him as that?
No, can I just add
yes,
something?
Please.
I think Babar's litmus test, he failed as a captain in the T20 PSL last time, but his litmus test is going to be if he can inspire Peshawar Zalmi. And if he does that, that will show that he has ability.
I'm being skeptical, Asif, because a recent statement that has come up from the chairman of the cricket committee is that he's also said that if Muhammad Amir wants to play international cricket for Pakistan, he can. He just needs to take his retirement back. Now I'm stuck.
He would have to perform.
Yeah, obviously. Yes, but if he does come back, let's consider scenario 1.1. If he does come back, once again I come back to that debate that there are certain players that Babar does not want around him. And that's where we get stuck again.
No, that's a separate thing. But just 1 minute. That's a separate
take 2
thing,
minutes.
because at the end of the day, if David Warner can come back and Steve Smith can come back, then Amir also has the right to come back. It's a separate thing that Babar doesn't want.
Not only then Amir, then why you not taking rest of the names?
No, I'm saying everyone can come back after due, whatever prison time or whatever
their
serving time.
Serving time. After that, because all the Australians came back, Mark Waugh came back, Shane Warne came back, and the others, Steve Smith and
but there is a difference. There's a huge difference between, ball tampering
chucking the ball and
that's a separate thing.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's a separate thing. The ball tampering.
But then, if Amir's coming back, then
if
Amir's coming back, then Sharjeel should come back.
that's a separate thing.
Then don't tell me that ICC
I have
given
a
him
very
a
straightforward stance on this, that the match fixer shouldn't wear the green jersey.
I agree.
Shouldn't win.
I agree.
It's my straightforward point.
Asif?
See,
If
if they want to play,
but the rule has to be separate. They should not be allowed to wear yellow jerseys as well.
see, you are not here to defend rest of the
I'm not.
world.
I'm just saying law has
I am
to be
here.
saying.
No. See, what I'm talking about are ethics. I'm not talking about what Australians do, what they are, doing. And once again, there's a difference between, ball tampering and match fixing, Rizwan. If we guys are talking about...
Shane Warne, Mark Waugh were part of match fixing. Pitch reports and all that.
Are they example for us?
They're not, but they came back.
If they're not, then, we shouldn't
It
talk
will
about
then
that.
all boil down to the Justice Qayyum report, where I do not want to go. And let me be very honest,
Nobody wants to see that.
nobody wants to talk about that. That was the failure of Pakistan cricket collectively, where we fail as a nation. But sticking to the point, Asif, my scenario is still the same. What would happen then if the captain says, I do not want him in the playing 11? What does happen?
Very simple. If I'm the captain, and I see, it's all about your ethics. If you are telling and you want to teach something to the nation and you're bringing something revolution in the cricket, simply say no more and no more space for the match fixers. Very simple. And if I'm the captain, if Muhammad Amir or whatsoever, Sharjeel Khan or name anyone else, Salman Butt, Asif, sorry, thank you very much. You have played a lot for Pakistan. Now this is the time. Thank you very much. Cause you guys remain in match fixing and no more space for the fixers in Pakistan cricket team. Yes, you guys can play franchise cricket for your bread and butter. That's fine. But for green jersey, sorry.
You're being apolitical right now.
Come on, it's a straightforward stance, dear.
Well,
But that doesn't happen in real life.
See, if it's not happened, I'm giving you my stance.
Agreed.
What my
what Asif
opinion
believes
is.
in, what should,
Yes,
that's
yes.
what Asif says.
Yeah.
All of us can have different scenarios and
Yeah.
opinions, but the fact is that one thing is for sure, that till the World Cup, he's going to be your captain. I think there's no doubt about that. We can't ignore that.
I think
fact.
we have a lot of cricket to play before the World Cup, and there's going to be Asia Cup as well.
And anything
and
can
if
happen.
the team fails miserably, then of course it opens up a debate. If he performs well and the team does well and the combination gels together, then yes, of course.
So you're okay with the fact of changing a captain right before the World Cup?
It's not right before the World Cup. We've got 7-8 months.
Ahmad, see, Babar Azam is a fantastic batter, no doubt about
done.
it. But I want to see him as a great batter, like Virat Kohli, like Mahendra Singh Dhoni, like Kane Williams, a big finisher. He is
All three you've named have been good captains as well. So I'm stuck there as well once again.
See, you know, there is always.
No, I'll go
room
with
for-
Javed Miandad then.
Yes,
Tremendous.
yes,
I think
tremendous.
one of the best things that we
Yeah.
can produce in Pakistan.
Think tank as well.
And it is so sad that we've not been able to use his knowledge and experience as we should have as Pakistan cricket. Very disappointing.
And see that, you know, when you are taking name like Javed Miandad, of course, he's legend, living legend for Pakistan. Why I'm taking these names, that they were the finisher, great finishers, right? Even in Zamamul Haq, one of the best finishers in Pakistan, in the history of Pakistan cricket. So if Babar Azam wants to become a finisher, he should concentrate on his skills. And of course that he's the best batter. But see, when you are finishing the game, what happened in the ICC T20 World Cup in the very first match against Pakistan, Virat Kohli said, this is my best 100 so far in my career. When you finish the game, you win the game, even if you're not, you know, doing hundreds or you're not doing 50s. The only thing is that when your team wins, no one asks that what Babar Azam is doing. But when your team lose, of course that everyone asks you that what Babar Azam is doing as a captain. This is the question. That's why Rizwan is taking his name, that we lost 4 test matches in Pakistan, home series. Why? Because we have lost. If Pakistan could have won that, the scenario was changed. But honestly, Babar Azam is a fantastic batter. I want to see him more better, you know, like more great batter, like as we have taken some, you know, names. So, so there is no need to change captain right before the World Cup. Even if you do not play good cricket in next coming couple of months, or even in the Asia Cup, please give him time till the World Cup.
And then make your decisions.
Yes.
Because World Cup is a defining moment
Yes, that's
for
right.
any captain around the world. I
He's
think
been
not just for
captain in 2
Pakistan.
World Cups, and we're waiting another 9 months, 8 months for the World
T20
Cup.
World Cup.
T20,
Yeah, same
Rizwan,
thing.
come on. T20, ODI, totally different cricket here.
So who would you rather have, Rizwan? Who would
I'm
you
not saying
rather?
who I'd rather have. I'm just saying
If you
like,
do not
what
have
I
as an
know,
option, let's say if it doesn't work out.
I think Shadab could be a very good option. I think Rizwan could be a very good option. I think Shan Masood, if given a chance, could be an option. We're not short of options.
But
I'm not saying I'm a big fan of Babar Azam as a batsman, and I'm not saying to kick him out. I'm saying we have a lot of games and we should practice. You know what I don't agree with the T20 series against before the World Cup against England, where we had 7 games against England. We did not try any options. We did not try the
no
reserve
bench
list.
strength, yes.
That's what I don't like. I don't care if we'd lost the series 5-2. Had we lost it 7-0, but tried different combinations and tried winning it in different ways, that would have been better for Pakistan, for exposure-wise, for experience-wise. But trying the same old thing and then losing, that's just not trying.
even
And that
against New
was the
Zealand, I
even-
think the last one day, you know, we could have seen something at least changing.
You have to give options.
That
and
was
do
the
your-
approach of Shahid Afridi, the ex-chairman selection committee. He said that even if Pakistan is winning or losing, if we got 3 matches there, in 3rd match, give chances to the new players. So I think that was a good approach, and this is what Rizwan is referring. But I don't think so that right before the World Cup, you're changing your leader, then there is a chaos in the team, there is a debate that you're bringing new captain, an unexperienced captain. Experience counts, and of course that Babar is leading this side for a long time, from last couple of years. Yes, a question mark is still there, but give him some time and let him lead till the World Cup. And after that, we will decide if Pakistan going to qualify till semi-final. I think things will be fine.
Otherwise, no.
Otherwise, yes. Otherwise,
I want the board to make an effort, try and find the best possible combination for the World Cup. So at least we're in with a chance.
You're talking about combinations, they're still obsessed about finding a head coach. I mean, look at priorities. India's finalized the squad of 26 and we still don't know who's going to be the head coach of Pakistan cricket team. So I think that sets priorities.
This is your
straight.
mindset, actually.
And you know, that's going to be there. But now moving our focus to women's cricket, where Australia beat us in the first T20 international of the 3-match series as well, convincingly by 8 wickets. They chased the targets down. A very modest target it was set. I liked some performances. Bashkat taking 5 wickets for Australia. I liked Umaima Sohail, she top scored. Aisha Naseem was brilliant with the bat. The way she was hitting those sixes reminded me of one particular name in Pakistan cricket, but phenomenal stuff. And Asif, although the commentators were gobsmacked why she hasn't been a regular part of the Pakistan team, disappointing to end on the losing front once again.
Yes, yesterday you were saying that we are talking about positivity in women cricket, but see, when you lose, people ask questions. What's happening? 114 against team like Australia. It wasn't a good target, even, you know, that anything under than 150, 160. If you're making just 114 and they just chased in 13 overs, what does it mean? That they're totally prepared what they are doing. They are just came up with a plan and executed so nicely. What happened? What's happening with the Pakistan? See, as you said, that Aisha Naseem, yes, technically I liked her so much because the way she played over the extra covers. You were taking the name. Let me take a name. Do you remember Dendra Doughton from
Yes,
West Indies?
Indies,
Wow. To be very honest, that some reflection in her batting, the way she was batting.
So why don't we talk about ever the captaincy of Pakistan women's cricket team? Because the conundrum is that after Bisma Maroof, we don't have anyone right now.
See, even I'm not satisfied with her captaincy, leading skills.
Even I'm not.
Even you're not, even Rizwan.
Not at all.
Yes.
I don't see
Why-
that
why?
aggressive
Because
intent in there to lead a team.
Even then, you know that the
Do you see
captain,
that in the men's team?
Yes, sir. I obviously see that.
skipper should be a performer, and that's why we guys are supporting, and still why there's a debate, because Babar Azam is a performer.
I don't like this two-faced theory. Skipper should be a performer, but performer should never be a skipper, what people say. You know, people are stuck in between.
No, I'm
but
not
I
saying
agree with you, Asif Rizwan.
I just
Yes,
want to
Rizwan,
add
your
one
take.
thing.
Just a minute, guys. Just a minute. Let me clear. I haven't said that.
No, I'm not talking about
Okay,
you. I'm
okay,
saying there's
fine.
a segment of people which say
I mean,
that, you know, a performer should never be a skipper.
Looking at women's cricket in Pakistan, I think we are at least 3 levels below Australia, England, even India.
You're being modest.
No, I'm being. We could be 5 levels below them.
Yeah.
If you look at yesterday's game, Elise Perry, the all-rounder, opened the batting. That's how lightly they took Pakistan. She just bowled 2 overs, so they never bowled full throttle to Pakistan. That just shows the
And my
level.
God, did she give Mitchell Stark some competition at home with that
She is.
killer of a Yorker. Absolutely superb bowling. And let's take you to the Under-19 World Cup, where Pakistan is facing New Zealand. Action right now is live on PTV Sports HD. And like I said, New Zealand were cruising, and they still are. But it's a job cut out for Pakistan because, like I said, I'm very skeptical of a target that is above 100 and 120. Like Asif, you've been mentioning, 4 times Pakistan has chased it down. They've only lost to England. They won against Rwanda. They won against Zimbabwe, and they won against Ireland. So they've been superb, and that's just another wicket. I think that's just probably fallen, or is it just an over that's been completed? But in any case, the fact is that that's the only reach that we can go to towards chasing a target down.
Well, you know that the way these youngsters are playing, to be very honest, I'm so happy after watching them. They're just putting their efforts in fielding. They're so good. Let me take the name of Aroop Shah. She is a fantastic all-rounder with the ball, with the bat, and even in the field, she is fantastic. And yesterday, we guys were discussing, this is what happened. Anything 120 when you are going to chase, it would be easy for Pakistan. So I think New Zealand side is a good side, but even then Pakistan is playing so good. And yesterday they played really positive cricket. It was a one-sided contest for Pakistan. They played tremendously. I think that if they're coming up with the same passion, I think they could qualify for the semi-final.
Right, Rizwan, is it necessary to give them, more exposure? I mean, if you find them more talented than the national side, you can, in women's cricket at least, you can make that fast track process.
Well, you've had 15-year-old, 16-year-old men playing for Pakistan cricket team. You've done that in England. In Hassan Raza, if you remember, was
absolutely.
14 playing test match cricket. So if they're good enough, they can easily replace the girls. But I think the level of cricket, you should realize, we're not playing Australia, New Zealand and England all the time. We're playing teams like Rwanda who haven't got that much exposure. So winning against these teams would probably make you feel like make you feel overexcited, but that's not reality. We still have to face New Zealand and England. So we'll find out later on when.
Very harsh comments, Rizwan. Come on, these are under 19. These girls are playing
other
first
teams
time.
are also playing under 19 girls. They're not 24.
See, come on. These girls.
No, I'm just
these
saying
girls
that
are
they're good
playing
enough.
first
We'll
time.
find out.
They played really nice cricket against even Ireland. Please give them some appreciation. Rizwan, come on.
Okay, well played.
Give them
Girls,
some
well played.
appreciation.
3
Thank
out
you.
of 3.
No, they've won 3 games out of
Yes,
4, and now
appreciate
New
that.
Zealand is absolutely on a carnage. But then again, I do back
Exactly
these
what I
guys.
was saying. When
Yeah.
you play teams like New Zealand and Ireland, New Zealand and England, Australia,
Stay
India.
positive, Rizwan.
Be
No,
positive.
but I think they'll learn it. It'll be good
Right.
for their exposure.
That wraps up our cricket segment. Asif, thank you very much for being on the show. On that note, we'll go towards a short break. We'll hang on to Rizwan. We'll bring in another guest because after the break, we're coming with the Premier League. Stay tuned. And welcome back to Sports Extra. Time now for the Premier League, and joining us now is sports expert Ali Mehdi. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Walaikum salam, I'm very well. Thank you.
Great to have you on the show. Now, of course, we've got some games to talk about. Manchester City's got Haaland scoring a hat-trick. We also have Everton sacking, their manager, which is, I think, immense shock for me because I think Frank Lampard, I really regard him as somebody who needs time in a season. I don't know why this inconsistency prevails with teams. That if Chelsea can do it to Thomas Tuchel, anything can happen. But the fact is, then we had a crunch of a game. Premier League is all about games like this. Something that became even bigger than a derby was Arsenal versus Manchester United. And you know, this gentleman smiling can tell you all about the game because he was on the winning end. You got to appreciate that. Yes, sir.
I'd like Ali Mehdi to start.
No, you please, sir, you go ahead.
What a wonderful game. We've been waiting for games like that. Going to the 90th minute, the team played really, really well. Man U, you have to give them credit. They were on the back foot, but they kept coming back. They had 2 wonderful goals. Martinez.
Lisandro Martinez got the second one.
Martinez got the goal, and
first one was by Marcus Rashford.
Rashford, and Rashford has been in amazing form as well. But overall, I think Arsenal played well as a team. Probably the only thing lacking in the Arsenal team right now is bench strength. You don't have enough players. If somebody gets injured, 2 or 3 injuries, then you don't have the front line to challenge for the title. That's what I fear could be the case. Otherwise, I think it's very, very neck and neck between Arsenal and Manchester City. But Ali Mehdi bhai?
Yes, Ali Mehdi.
Look, the thing with Arsenal over here, I think Arsenal have done a phenomenal job over here. Like, out of 19 games, they've won 50 points. This is the highest number of their points they've ever got after mid-season. I mean,
Even more than the
Invincibles.
Yeah.
Invincible season was about 44, 45 points. So I don't think they've ever got such a good platform. I mean, I can understand why Arsenal fans are a bit skeptical and a bit worried. But look, you've got a great platform. You just have to build upon it. And then at this, Rizwan bhai was also talking about injuries right now. You're playing Man City in the FA Cup, which most probably, I think most Arsenal fans want to actually exit that cup too. And then you've got Europa. So your prime focus over here will be on the Premier League. But look, I think Arsenal have been phenomenal. You wanted a change in the Premier League. You're sick of seeing the Man Cities and the Liverpools winning, in between. This is a fresh change. It's very good for the Premier League. And Arteta has done a great job. Arteta has been under the knife for the past few seasons. But the way he's actually gotten this squad, the way he's actually amalgamated all these new young players, the midfield, the strikers, the at the back too. I mean, it's
But
very hard.
you've got to give credit to the head of talent acquisition as well.
No, head of talent.
Edu has done a great job. And Arteta, the signings that they've made over the past 1.5 years, if you remember last year, they started with 3 losses on the trot.
Yes.
And then they were still close enough for the top 4, challenging Tottenham, and then lost in the last couple of games because we didn't have the strength. Now this is Arteta's team. He's had 2.5 years. He's made the team. Everybody's almost 90% of the players are his signings. So he's got exactly what he had in mind, because whenever you get a new manager, it takes him at least 3 transfer windows to get the team right, and he's done that, and he's proving that he's done that.
But as a fan, what do you believe has changed? We do consider these critical points there as well. What do you see changing now in the culture, that persists? Because the level of football they're playing right now, even with the lack of bench strength, is something that probably Arsenal fans are not used to.
I personally think sacking Aubameyang to
yes.
Chelsea was
Lacazette, yeah, I think.
Lacazette. They're big egos, and Arteta has done that. That he's got the wage structure correct. We haven't got any extra players who have got high wages and not performing.
No liabilities.
Everybody out, and he's got a fresh set of players. They're all young. It's one of the youngest teams in the Premier League right now, and challenging Man City, who've won 4 out of the last 5 championships,
and that too under Guardiola. Yes.
Without the oil money that we don't have, or the Arab or the Qatari or the Dubai or UAE money. So that's just, that's playing to the principles of how football should be played. It's not about money. It's not about getting everyone who's the most expensive player on the bench and you just buy them off. We've got people from the lower rank, from the teams, from France, from all over the place, and they're not the most expensive ones. So wages-wise, we've done the structure right, and we've taken out all the other players who were too expensive and with over-bloated egos.
Ali Mehdi, two ways you can go about this. One, you can have lavish spending, then you can have smart spending. Arsenal has clearly gone with smart.
No, clearly Arsenal has gone with smart spending. You see this spine. Their first team is probably the best in the Premier League too, and they've done it consistently throughout the season. The only team they've lost to is Manchester United, and even in that game they actually played very well against Manchester United. So you've got to give them credit. But the thing right now is important thing. Now you go into the back end of the season. You go towards the second half.
This becomes a defining moment.
This becomes a defining moment. This is where the cups actually fatigue comes into. Bench strength gets tested too. They've played against a couple of big guns. They played against the Spurs. They played against United. They've obviously got to play Manchester City twice. They've got to go to Anfield too. At the same time, they're going to play Chelsea at home too. So, I mean, it's really, the stars are lining up for Arsenal over here. But the thing over here is Arteta has to be smart. He has to pray to God that he doesn't lose any of his big stars due to injury. And other than that, I think the acquisitions he's made, he's got Trossard, who's tremendous, who was brilliant for Brighton. He went and scored a hat-trick there at Anfield too. He's got so much talent over there.
And he's Premier League ready.
He's Premier League
absolutely
ready. Most important thing, they were talking about Murdoch, who's actually gone to Chelsea. Trossard is a tested player in the Premier League. He's done so well this season, and they got him on a cheap buy. So I think everything is working out for Arsenal. It's all about managing that squad. It's all about managing those injuries. And I honestly feel that Arsenal will probably. I'm very hopeful as a neutral and. As a team, as a person who used to look at Arsenal as my rival, that hopefully, they can end 19 years of hurt.
Well, I think as a neutral, even I can say that this is Arsenal's season to win. They've been phenomenal. They deserved it. But those 2 games against City, Rizwan, have got to be that defining moment for Arsenal and for City, because I frankly for once would put my money on Arsenal.
I'd put my money on 2 draws or 1 win and 1 loss. So the gap stays the same. But I think the thing that really is favouring us has been the setbacks that City has had. Every time teams get stuck into Haaland, you don't see goals coming from all over the place. The right wingers, left wingers, there's nothing. It's all just passed to Haaland, and he gets the goal done. He got 3 yesterday, but before that he had 2 games where he had 1 or none. So for me, I think the biggest thing is if you can control Haaland, then you can control the game. And we're not dependent on City losing or drawing games, which is favouring Arsenal. Otherwise, I
but Ali Mehdi, that's my problem with United as well. Even because I watched the match at your place, and my God, I've got to thank Ali Mehdi because absolutely superb things going on there. The fact was that we talked about this before as well, that United was only trying to hit the box from the wing. And I really did not like the fact that there was lack of pressure from the centre. And that's where I think United could have done much better, because, Arsenal had Rashford marked. They knew where to come from their football.
No, that's exactly what it is. Either Arsenal marked Rashford extremely well. Other than that, there wasn't much of a goal threat. That's because you can't get through the middle too. You talk about Eriksen, but Eriksen is now entering the twilight of his career. He already has
heart problems. Yes.
Has the heart problems. But Manchester United, why? Because they had Partey. Partey actually played a phenomenal game. Everybody is talking about Odegaard and Saka and Nketiah, but I thought Partey was very good. He was actually really protecting that defense. So he did very well to mark the likes of McTominay and also, that midfield battle he clearly won against
Yeah,
McTominay.
I understand City's got a lot to play for. Even Haaland has been superb with the hat-trick just recently. But then again, I still have the same problem. He's not been what City have expected him to be in big games. So I think that's the puzzle that City really needs to solve. But very quickly, Ali Mehdi, Frank Lampard has been sacked by Everton.
No, it's a massive, massive loss. This is the problem with Everton. Ever since this new regime, new management have changed, they've changed so many managers. It's unbelievable. And now, the latest rumor is they're going for their prodigal son, Wayne Rooney, the Manchester United legend. So let's see if that works out because he's in the US right now. But it's really bad.
Only time will tell. Rizwan, Frank Lampard, yes, a lot of pressure on Klopp as well. I understand that for a reason. City are going to be very skeptical because they've got one eye on the Champions League. Things are a bit messy for some clubs right now.
City's priority is Champions League. They won 4 titles of the last 5 and they've never won the Champions League. And they brought
Guardiola,
Pep because of the fact that they wanted, Champions League. Champions League is important, of course. And for us, for Arsenal, I think, of course, you want to throw everything away and just concentrate on the Premier League. Everton, I think Everton has been a very, very big club. They're very, very close rivals to Liverpool and they had a fantastic run under David Moyes. But since then, they haven't settled down at all and they keep changing and chopping managers. Lampard has been a Chelsea legend as well. So I think you need consistency. Arsenal has shown that. They tried the chap before Arteta for a couple of years. Emery was just a big failure. But he still kept getting chances. He was not sacked after 6 months or 8 months. He had more than a year. He had 1.5 years and then we realized that he's not the one. And then we went into Arteta. So a lot of thinking has to go into choosing the right coach because in cricket, the captain may be important, but in football, the coach is the most important person.
Very true. Ali Mehdi, final thoughts, and this is a personal question about Newcastle United this season.
I think Newcastle have been brilliant. They've got all this Arab money. The Saudi Arabian, Provident Fund, investment fund has done so well to pump up money, 300 billion in reserves of their owners too. So they've done very well too. But they haven't made those spendings as yet. These are smart spendings. But I think for this season, I think Manchester United will pip them into 3rd or 4th position, and Newcastle might struggle. You have Spurs right on, the back end of it. But I think going forward, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with all that money. Have the oil money they have pumping.
But I think they've been very, very smart. They've made some very smart signings. The defense is packed with absolutely good players. They've just let in, I think, 12 goals.
Yeah.
So you can't doubt them. It's not all about, and that shows that smart management is more important than throwing money like anything. They've done a wonderful job.
The dynamics of football have changed now. You need managers who can evolve and improvise as well.
And grow as a team.
And grow. That's very, very important. But Rizwan and Ali Mehdi, thank you very much for being on the show. That wraps it up from me and the entire team of Sports Extra. Until next time, it's goodbye for now.